Two global platforms vying for the future of work, Rippling and Remote. Which one really delivers? On the left, Rippling, an HR powerhouse integrating IT and finance automation. And on the right, Remote, the payroll and compliance expert with truly global reach. Let's skip the buzzwords and dive into what really matters. We'll score each category, so you'll know exactly who takes the crown by the end. The winner for 2025, there may be some surprises in store. All right, here's the game plan. We're putting these two head-to-head across 7 categories: global coverage, ease of use, automation and integrations, pricing, customer support, compliance and legal, and who they're best for. So, buckle up, we're diving right in. Let's kick it off with global coverage. So, Rippling looks pretty good for multi-country payroll and has some international employer of record action, but you know what? It only covers up to like 40, maybe 90 countries. So if you're really aiming for global domination, it's kind of limited. Now, Remote, man, it lets you hire, pay, and manage people in more than 100, sometimes even up to 180 countries. That's nuts. Plus, they seriously know their global compliance game. Sure, if you're only in the US, Remote might be a bit much, but for global teams, Remote takes the win here. Switching gears, let's chat ease of use. Rippling rocks a pretty intuitive interface, and their automation can make you feel like a wizard managing HR, IT, and finance. But, and it's a big but, that first setup, it can be kind of intimidating, especially if your team isn't super techy. On the other hand, Remote is all about streamlined onboarding, especially for global hires. The interface is clean and pretty simple. Sure, customizing might be a little limited, but honestly, Remote's simplicity is a breath of fresh air. So Remote edges ahead again. Now, on to automation and integrations. Here's where Rippling flexes hard. If integrations were a sport, Rippling would be winning gold. Over 500 options. Slack, Salesforce, you name it. You get crazy workflow automation too. Can it be overwhelming for smaller teams? Yeah, sometimes. But if you want those deep tech moves, Rippling's top-notch. In comparison, Remote gets the basics right. Solid payroll, compliance, some HR tools, but not that insane depth. So, this round, Rippling takes it. Hey, quick fun fact for you. Did you know Remote operates in up to 180 countries, while Rippling covers around 90? That's a monster difference if you're thinking international. Keep that in mind. Let's talk pricing. This one's juicy. Rippling lets you custom build what you need. Pay for just what you use, which sounds cool. But honestly, the tiers, the add-ons, EOR without a flat rate, it gets confusing fast. Remote, super clear. You pay a flat rate, about $599 per employee each month for EOR. No surprises, no upfront deposit in most cases, no headaches. It can feel premium, but at least you know exactly what you're paying. For most folks, Remote wins. All right, next up is customer support. Rippling gives you online resources and self-service support. If you hit a real snag, though, especially complex stuff, responses can be slow and you don't get a dedicated account manager. Now, Remote, dedicated HR advisors, quick answers for payroll and compliance. Sure, there are occasional onboarding delays, but overall, you're actually talking to a person who knows their stuff. That's big, so Remote pulls ahead again. Now, let's get into compliance and legal protection. Rippling is pretty solid on US compliance, and they're getting better with the global stuff thanks to automation. But truthfully, Remote's on a whole other level. Advanced compliance engine, legal indemnity, plus they cover your IP. They're even recognized globally for this. The catch is, it's really tailored for international, not just the US. But Remote still takes the win in this category. Let's wrap categories up with best 4. Rippling? Perfect for big companies or fast-growing ones, especially if you're super into automating not just HR, but IT and finance. Sometimes, though, it's overkill if you just want simple payroll or global reach. Remote leans towards SMBs and big teams expanding globally. It's awesome for easily handling compliance across countries. If you need lots of IT or finance automation, maybe not so much. Honestly, here it's neck and neck, so we're calling it a tie. Zooming out for a second, the scores are telling a story here. Remote just keeps coming up on top for global, legal, and support, while Rippling flexes big on deep automation and crazy integrations. The numbers kind of back up what we've been seeing. Okay, real talk. If you want that deep, everything under one roof automation, HR, IT, payroll, finance, and you're mostly US focused, Rippling's gonna feel pretty magic. But if you're going global, need to onboard in tons of countries, and want airtight compliance, just go with remote. For international scaling, remote's the no-brainer. If you found this quick showdown helpful, shout it out in the comments. And hit subscribe for more simple, no-nonsense buying guides. See you in the next one.